Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll talk about the next book I'm about to read. This is not a book review, but mostly it is a book preview. Once I finish reading the book, I'll talk about the book as well. This book is titled Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Now, before reading the book, I read a note by the translator which helpfully pointed out that this will help people understand who Dostoevsky is. Now, long-time viewers of this channel would have noticed that I've also made a video on perhaps the best book written by Fyodor Dostoevsky, The Brothers Karamazov. In that book, there is a very poignant description of the journey of a condemned man to the spot of his execution. That is, a person who is about to be shot or hanged. His journey from his cell to the spot where he will be hanged or shot, that journey is described very accurately. And one starts to wonder, why do other authors not describe it so well? What makes Dostoevsky so qualified in trying to understand the psyche of a condemned man? And then one understands the life of Dostoevsky by reading about it, or at least tries to understand the life of Dostoevsky by reading about it. And lo and behold, we find out that Dostoevsky himself was condemned to be executed. What was his crime? Remember, Dostoevsky is from 19th century Russia, and that was before the communist revolution, so this was Tsarist Russia. This was under the rule of Tsar Nicholas I, and under the rule of Tsar Nicholas I, even something like opening a printing press or talking against censorship or reading a letter between Byelinsky and Gogol, both great figures from Russian literature, was bad enough to be sentenced to death, and that is exactly what happened to Dostoevsky. He was by no means a revolutionist, but he talked against censorship. He was alleged to have read a letter from Byelinsky to Gogol, Nikolai Gogol, and he was also charged with wanting to start a printing press, so he was condemned to death. He was made to wear the white clothes that are supposed to be worn by people who are supposed to be executed. He was taken to the spot where he was going to be executed, and just before the shot was to be fired, which would have ended his life, it was announced that his sentence had been commuted from death penalty to a few years of hard labor. He talks about how somebody who was with him, who was also about to be executed, upon finding out that his sentence was commuted, goes insane, becomes hysterical, and never ever recovers his normal faculties. This is something which is talked about or alluded to in The Brothers Karamazov. So those who think that there are many questions unanswered, that Dimitri's statements about wanting to go to America and then not finding out what exactly happens is a sort of unanswered, open-ended ending of the story. That's not true, because people who are condemned or who receive a very unwelcome sentence from the justice system often try to think about it as a positive and try to look on the brighter side of things. I can't talk about it with any experience because I have thankfully not had to deal with the justice system to that extent, but I can tell you from my own experience that there was a time in my life when I was sent to a certain place. Maybe we'll talk about it in a different video, and I chose to look at the brighter side of things. Dostoevsky is a fascinating read, and everyone should read Dostoevsky. And this is a man who actually faced death, came back from it, and then had to rebuild his life by writing a lot, because he was in debt, and the only way out of debt for him was to write. And it is written in the translator's note in Crime and Punishment that Dostoevsky got into a situation where he had to write so much that he would get no time to edit his works, something that I can relate to. So I will be reading Crime and Punishment. Hopefully I'll be done with reading this book in a short while, and once I've read the book, I'll make a video talking about the 5 takeaways from Crime and Punishment, which is probably one of the most famous books written by any Russian author. So Stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching my videos. It's been amazing. And again, the video on Lord of the Flies is also out, and that's another book I would really want bibliophiles like you to try out. It may be a little boring to read in the beginning, but it's definitely it deals with themes of human existence that is so powerful. In fact, I want to talk about it a little bit here. In the Brothers Karamazov, Dostoevsky says that if you want to go to heaven, you have to be like a child. Because in the book, The Brothers Karamazov, he talks about a holy monk who literally performed miracles. People believed he performed miracles. But when he passed away and his corpse, dead body, was kept in a place where people would come and pay their last respects, it was believed in, at least in the book it is written, that people who are truly holy do not emanate foul odor after death. Which of course scientifically makes no sense, and but that's the belief in that particular part of Russia described in the book. So this holy monk, upon dying after a few hours, does emanate odor because of decomposition perhaps. But when a child passes away, there is no foul odor. So it's kind of an allegory. It kind of talks about how the child probably is going to heaven, but the monk is not, because the child has the childlike innocence. However, in the book Lord of the Flies, we do understand that even children may not always be innocent, and especially under extreme situations, without any supervision, without any grown-ups. When faced with mortal fear, even children can resort to doing terrible things. So Lord of the Flies is a must. It's highly recommended from me, and I'll be making a few YouTube live videos from now on, and I'll be posting it on the channel as well. So if you want to watch those videos, please feel free to tune in, and maybe we can have an interactive video. Thank you for watching this video. Take care, bye bye, and please don't forget to be awesome.